And then you're the guy, can you guys hear me? So yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dude, I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? I did like twice in a row. I don't understand why it keeps doing that.
The worst part was like on the last. We're live now.
Dude, I'm just like, he said, is it working?
Shit.
Wait, are we live? Are we live? Yeah. What up, y'all? John Greenhands. Shout out to DJ Woman not telling us we're live. Hello.
I was in the middle of the thing.
What thing were you in the middle of?
I was in the middle of talking about how last time you could hear me right up until you went live. That's when you stopped being able to hear me. But I'm glad you can hear me now.
Shout out to DJ
It was going to be terrible.
Rap bastard.
It would have been terrible having Johnny translate what I say.
It would have been amazing, you might could. It would have been the best stream of all time. Are you kidding me?
I'm pretty sure he can't even comprehend the complexities of my words, so it would have been terribly dumbed down into potato speak.
DJ, what Andy said is, would you like a spud in your arse or a Lannister?
Yeah, okay, never mind. That was perfect. So I guess we should have stuck with the other one.
Yeah, I told you.
Oh, what's up, OTDA? We're here, living my rhapsody. We're back. Jenny Coldstone's good to see you. We did it. I can hear everybody. We're all on the same page. It actually like looked right when I started this one up, so this may work. We shall.
Can I give a shout out to DJ for just hitting live straight away on this and not saying a fucking word to me and Andy, who was in a prior chat before he hit live. You know what I mean? Shout out to DJ, the dick.
Oh, there is no time to mess around. Had to see if this thing was gonna work, and it looks like it's gonna. So life is good. What's up? We got our brother back, Johnny, all the way from across the pond. We got our man, my brother from another mother, Big Johnny, back in the house. Round 2. How goes it, brother?
Fuck off, you fucking explained me chat before I went live. No, salute DJ Woman. I give you that good energy that you give to me. Salute my big brother. DJ's the big brother from another DJ Woman because he's a big ass joint who fucking hits record without telling you. I missed you, brother, and it's awesome to be back on this motherfucker.
Oh, awesome to have you back. What's good, Mary J. Starwalker? Welcome back. Glad everybody, or most everybody's finding their way back here. I'm sure before too long, everybody found their way in. What's good? We can actually hear you. Snafu Z, are you there?
I mean, you say we, but it seems to be only one person that can't hear me over and over again. But I am excited to be back here. It's been a couple days. I have to kind of make up for ruining the other stream with my brilliant argument, but I'm sorry for making you look bad on your channel, as Johnny said earlier.
Oh, we'd love to see it. Someday it will happen. We all have dreams and aspirations. It is good to have goals.
Well, Andy was saying there, DJ, I'll translate in case you have audio issues, was he was saying the complexities of a potato and potassium is two different things when it comes to science. And when it comes to Game of Thrones, one king is a potato and the other queen is a potassium. I have discovered.
Potato. Speaking of, you guys were just talking about who would win in a sword battle between Arthur Dayne and a Jaime Lannister that's the same age, in the same realm. What's up, chat? Where are you at with this? Johnny says Jaime would take him. What do you think, Andy?
No, I said he might be able to. I'm saying he probably wouldn't. But we can't say for sure that he could not beat Arthur Dayne. Because, I mean, Jaime certainly doesn't think he would be able to. But we just don't know because it's just stories that you hear about Arthur Dayne.
DJ, you set this up. Right, I said Jaime stands more of a chance against Arthur Dayne than people believe. Different context for a different question. But I believe Jaime could beat Arthur Dayne. Would he? Maybe not. I believe he could beat Arthur Dayne. He wields a Valyrian steel sword. If Jaime wielded a Valyrian steel sword with two good hands, obviously his ability would be enhanced too. And as Andy made a superb point, that Jaime pointed out how Loras Tyrell was an amazing fighter and Loras Tyrell's brother was even better. Maybe Arthur Dayne would say the same about Jaime. we don't know this because Arthur Dane never had a point of view. Arthur Dane has his cake and he's eating it right now. So I believe Jamie could beat him.
Wow, that all sounded like great and everything, but as soon as I heard Arthur Dane wielded a Valyrian steel sword, it just was like the Peanuts teacher from there on out. Just oh no, I can't remember. I don't know. Jamie has a Valyrian steel sword, but didn't get it until he was one-handed. Could a young prodigy in his prime take an Arthur Dane in his prime with a Dawn? Yeah, I mean, it's not really Valyrian steel, but they say it's just as good as Valyrian steel. So I don't know. Everybody talks about Jamie being good, but they talk about Sir Arthur Dane as being the greatest of all time. That's sometimes the legend outlives the man, but I don't know. It's just tough to say. Like you say, could he beat him any given Sunday? Maybe he could, but I don't know. What do you think, chat? Is it possible? Is it possible Arthur Dane would go down? Ned took him out with the help of Howland Reed.
Well, what if they...
Of course it's possible, man. Nobody has the facts to it all. It's possible, totally.
What if they flip it on its head, right? And that, like in the show, Bran is disappointed because his dad doesn't beat Arthur Dane like he thought he did. Like his dad told him he did. So the legend he had of his dad wasn't as great as he thought. What if they flip that on its head in the book, and it's actually the legend, the disappointing legend is Arthur Dane, and Ned can really just beat him.
Well, I don't know. We got a legend on our panel. Let's hear from him. What do you think about that, Johnny?
I think it's interesting. All we know of Arthur Dane is his accolades that are in front of us, which are immense. But compared to his father, as Andy is pointing out, I do not know the answer to that, Andy. I can only theorize. In my opinion, Arthur Dane is a very competent opponent, but I don't know factually. We seen in the show and the flashback he was very competent, but you know, every dog has its day, and I believe Jamie is a dog too, and he could have his day over Arthur, which is the main point of mine.
What we were thinking, or what we were talking about on the other show too, is like with Darkstar's irritated how like Arthur's a legend. He's like, there's been hundreds, you know, our house goes back thousands of years, and there's been hundreds of great knightsmen, and the only one, or there's been hundreds of great swordsmen and warriors, and the only one anybody ever talks about is Arthur Dane. So Darkstar is a little irritated about it because, as we know, Darkstar is a pimp as well. So I don't know. I mean, is he just, like I said, is it the legend that outgrew the man, or was he really that great?
Could be both. Could be he could still be the greatest swordsman to ever live in Westeros, and his legend still get bigger than he is. Both of those are possible.
I have a feeling I know what the legend on our panel would say, so I'm going to ask you first. I've asked a bunch of people before: Arthur Dane or Bobby B? Who takes that one down?
I think I've said this one before. I'm gonna go with Arthur Dane. But are we just talking about a regular sword fight?
No, we're talking about for the realm. Instead of that being Rhaegar out there, it's Arthur Dane battling for life and limb, and he's out there battling Bobby B at the Battle of Trident. Who wins that fight?
So they're starting on horseback.
Yep.
I'm probably taking Robert then. Just the hammer is such a good weapon for that. Like a war hammer.
Mary Jade Starwalker's with you. She's got Bobby B down there. What do you think, Johnny? Who does that?
I don't know, a battle for all words. I had an interesting debate with Milty long ago. I'm obviously House Baratheon here, and Bobby B as the winner there is absolutely music to my ears. I also am partial, unbiased, and I like to believe I'm a critical thinker, which means this ain't going well. I'm House Baratheon, don't question me, but I think Arthur Dane takes it because his skills they're not good, they're immaculate by what we know and what we're told. So the only thing I can go off is the records of what I've seen on the show and what I'm told by other characters. I also believe Jamie is of that caliber, We just haven't seen enough of it. So that does not dispute my argument that Jamie could fight Arthur. And with Bobby B, I understand Andy's point. The hammer, it's just once you have ferocity and strength, you're on a horse. The horse is giving you pace, it's giving you momentum. You can easily smash a foe and it's game over. Totally understand that point, and I love it. House Baratheon. But I think Arthur wasn't a skilled swordsman. I think he was an immaculate swordsman. And the only people who can combat swordsmen is the fighters from the pit because their versatility and speed. I still think a knight beats them, but I'd have to go with Arthur Dane on this.
It's like Jamie when he was talking about Sir Barristan the Bold. I mean, he didn't call him a swordsman. He said he was a painter that only painted with red. So, I mean, like you're saying, I mean, it wasn't just a skill. It was an absolute art form. So it's tough. It's tough to go against my man Arthur.
Unless you're Jamie.
The only reason I am is because we're talking about it starts on horseback. The Warhammer is a superior weapon in that instance. Like, they're wearing armor and shit. Like, you're not gonna just be able to hack into a dude that's on horseback. So you can be a great swordsman, but he's got a freaking hammer. So he doesn't have to hit you in the right spot. You have to hit him in the right spot.
That's true.
And Robert, Robert's a great warrior. Yeah, and not necessarily like that's why I specifically asked on horseback, because on a ground fight, like I'm taking Arthur Dane, but in a full-on battle that they're meeting on the battlefield, it's Robert, because that's what he's known for. You wouldn't expect Robert to beat Arthur Dane in a sword fight because Arthur Dane's known for his sword fighting. Well,
yeah, but he would just straight raw power. Robert was a beast, just coming at you. But still, I think finesse outtakes the raw power and wins it. I think Arthur Dane wins that one.
Not on horseback, I don't.
You could be right on that one. You could be right. That would be an epic one. I still want to see the fight between Rhaegar and Bobby B. That's what sounded like it was epic. I hope they do. If they showed that, the battle at the Trident, because they said we'll get all our answers. I mean, that would be sick. But
like, you want to see him like hitting the chest plate and then rubies flying everywhere.
Red Ruby Ford, motherfucker! I want the song roll about that shit.
That would be so amazing.
Yeah.
You see him charging in a little battle, a little melee, and then a smash with a hammer. And they do that filmmaking thing where it like kind of slows down and pans to the side a little bit, and you see all the rubies flying in the air. That would be cool. I'm with it.
He said, I'm down. I would love to see that. Like I said, the more and more I think about it, I think that was Rhaegar. I think he used Blackfire, the sword, the king's sword. I think Ned grabbed it, and just like they always tie things in doubly, Ned took the Dawn back to Starfell. I think Ned took Blackfire back to the Winterfell crypts and basically going to give it to Jon. I was telling Johnny earlier, I think that's what I was talking about. It's like, I think Ned was actually going to return, even as crazy as it sounds, I think Ned was going to return Blackfire to the Mad King. But when he went there, Jaime had already slew him. So there's really nobody to give that thing to. And then he basically he went out after he took care of that and went straight to the Tower of Joy. Lyanna told him what was up. So then he's like, oh, I actually do have somebody to return Blackfire to, the rightful king. It'll be Jon when he grows up. So he took it back to Winterfell to give to Jon when it was time to actually tell him.
I totally respect that outlook. And when I start off my answer with that, it means I'm totally going to disagree with you.
Oh, of course.
Shocker. Absolute shocker. Is Ned he's a nice man. In some people's opinion, I think he's a normal man, not a nice man. He's just a normal dude. So him doing that, he killed his father. He killed his brother. There's no fucking chance in hell. Not even Jesus would go down and do that shit in Game of Thrones. So there's absolutely no chance Ned is going down with that attitude. If Ned was this fucking Jesus Christ, he would have telling Catelyn about fucking Jon Snow and trusting his fucking wife with a secret. That's his wife. Didn't trust her with that. There's no chance he's going down with a sword. I'm like, I'm this loyal to the realm. You're not even that loyal to your wife, mate. You're not a nice dude. You're a normal dude. So no.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That's
With respect and love,
there's a lot
brother.
of validity to your point. What do you think about it, Andy? Which way? Anyway, either way.
About the sword and stuff.
Yep. Where's
We already know.
Blackfire? You already think.
We already know. We had a 30-minute long conversation about this on Tuesday.
Well, give him a 2-second synopsis. Just tell him real quick. Where's Blackfire at right now?
Jon Snow already has Blackfire because Blackfire is Longclaw.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
It was all a ruse. Blood Raven and Aemon set it up to get Longclaw into a Targaryen bastard's hand that they knew would end up at the wall, or that Blood Raven knew would end up at the wall, and that's why it's there.
Jorah Mormont's a big fat liar, Lord Commander, liar pants on fire.
Well, I just mean if Ned's willing to lie to Catelyn and his family about Jon, why couldn't Jorah lie about Jon's sword?
Welcome back, Mother Krakens. Welcome back. If he did what? Why wouldn't he lie about the sword?
Well, if noble Ned Stark or the honorable Ned Stark could lie about Jon Snow being his bastard, why couldn't Jorah lie about Longclaw being his bastard sword?
Just because the Valyrian steel was too precious and too rare, and everybody in the realm knew where every single Valyrian steel was and who had what swords. That's just not a lie he could pull off. Everybody had been like, oh, no, bullshit. You never had that before. And all of a sudden you have it. Like, they all would have called bullshit on that. There's just no way that's plausible. I mean, there's never no way, but in my mind, that's just not plausible.
Well,
but maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Hopefully in the books, obviously in the books, I think Blackfire is going to make an appearance one way or another. I think it's going to be in the Winterfell crypts, or Illyrio has it, just like he had those eggs. He has that damn sword because he got it when Bittersteel fell, or somebody else over there had it, and he bought it way back when. And I think he's going to give that sword to Fagon to prove that he's the real Aegon. Just like in Dunk and Egg, nobody would follow old boy because he didn't have the sword. So Illyrio is going to give his son the sword to make it look like that is the real Aegon, so people actually follow him, and he can take the Iron Throne. I think it might go down like that in the books, if it's not in the Crypts of Winterfell.
I agreed with DJ, and I mean Mike was muted, and then he went off, and DJ won the shit out of it, and I don't agree with him anymore. I'm only messing. The sword, in my opinion, it'll be given to Aegon, Fagon, whatever you want to call him, and it'll be like a moral boost because he's over in Westeros trying to claim it with John Connington. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's up in the north, but who the fuck knows?
But I get that he could rally people behind him with Blackfire, but if you're trying to convince the people of Westeros that you are a true Targaryen and you do that with Blackfire, that doesn't even make any sense. If the people of Westeros believe that the Blackfires have Blackfire, so that would disprove your claim more than anything.
Why would it disprove it?
Because why would you have Blackfire? The Blackfire should have Blackfires, not a Targaryen.
It's a Targaryen ancestral sword, no?
Yeah, but if you were saying, if you're doing it to prove that Aegon is a true Targaryen, that wouldn't make sense. Because a true Targaryen wouldn't have that sword because the Blackfires have that sword.
But what was that sword before the Blackfires had that sword?
Yeah, I get that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
It's not convenient to your point, is it not, Andy? Well, I'm sorry about that, yeah?
I mean, I guess it's how you look at it, but basically in the front running, it's the king's sword, and that's what created all the Blackfire rebellions. But whoever has that sword is supposed to be king, sitting the Iron Throne.
But you're trying, if he's trying to say that this is Aegon, right? This is the real Aegon. It doesn't make sense that giving him Blackfire would prove that, because it disproves it. Because Aegon Targaryen wouldn't have Blackfire, a Blackfire would. So it would almost prove to everybody this is a Blackfire pretending to be an Targaryen.
Or Or this is a true Targaryen bringing back the king's sword.
Exactly, because the male line to the Blackfires are supposed to all be dead. So this would be like the heir went back, got somebody, gave him the true. Somebody was holding it for the true king and put it back into Targaryen's hands.
Man, I
I
fucking
just
hate
don't
this,
think
man. Why am I defending Targaryens, man? I'm fucking muting, man.
I just don't think it proves that he's Aegon any more than anything. Because anybody could have went and got it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that him having it wouldn't like make him more valid to the throne. I'm saying the people looking at it would say, well, why does that doesn't make sense? Like a Targaryen shouldn't have the sword because Blackfires have the sword. So you're basically telling me that you're a Blackfire and not a Targaryen. Does that
Or
make sense what I'm saying?
yeah, no, it does absolutely. But I think it's more like the Blackfire line, the male Blackfire line is supposed to be dead. So somebody got the sword and put it back in the hands of a Targaryen to put it back in the true king's hands to bring it back home and rule the Seven Kingdoms.
And I believe the true king has it.
Speaking of so, do you think will Jon Snow die, and if so, be resurrected this season? What do you think about that, Johnny?
I have to give a shout out to DJ's original video about Beric Dondarrion giving the kiss of life, or the kiss of fire, whatever you kids call it nowadays. I'm on side with that theory. DJ said it on his channel. I checked it, and it was just kind of one of them things I completely overlooked. And I was like, Stoneheart's gone, it's all gone. And I personally, I never put a 2+2 on that. And I think it's highly plausible that he is the one to give the kiss of life to Jon Snow. Literally, my answer is DJ's video. This is why he asked me this specific question, so he could fucking get self-advertisement for his own fucking video. So yeah. Well done, Dick.
Well, I'm sure there'll be another side of it. What do you think about it, Andy?
I don't think so in the show, no. But I did have an add-on to this when you were away, and I was talking to Johnny about it. In the book, I think that Catelyn's redemption will be that she gives Jon the kiss of life. Like she ends up saving him, and that brings her some redemption to everything she did. So ultimately, it comes around to her saving Jon.
Yeah, I believe that'll happen in the books too, and I believe the fact that Beric Dondarrion basically is Lady Stoneheart in the show, that's why he's the one that'll be giving her the kiss of life.
Gotcha. Damn it! Now I feel like that's wrong because I can't have DJ agreeing.
Living My Rhapsody wants to know, is it lips on lips?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're getting some Beric Dondarrion, Kit Harington. You know it's coming in. It's a love scene.
It only works if you straddle them too.
Oh, Jenny of Coldstones thinks that that's a plausible theory, but on the show, he'll give it to Dany. We'll be giving Dany the kiss of life.
Dany got the kiss of life ever since the fucking feminist movement happened in the fucking 2012 era, man. So she already got that. It's like, Beric, give it to a male. You know what I mean? Just saying.
I think Dany's got the kiss of plot armor. I don't know if she's going to need the kiss of life.
I got a question. I watched the episode today where Tyrion kind of fixed Marine for like a day, and you know what I'm talking about. And he had like the people of R'hllor, whatever their priest, the red priests, going throughout the city and praising Dany for like whatever she did or whatever Tyrion did. And him and Varys are walking through the city, and he says like Tyrion's all proud of himself, and then Varys is like, what are you so proud of? Like, you just let these people, you're letting them run free. You gave them too much power. And it's like, he's like, but it worked. And he said, yeah, but like a razor can work. It can shave your face, but that doesn't mean it's not going to cut your throat. So, and this is like a real poignant thing because it's in this season. Cersei made the same decision. She decided to get like the faith involved in politics and it totally fucked her over. So, do you think in the end Tyrion ends up getting killed by fire, like Melisandre type situation, where he's burned alive? Because it was kind of laid forth that like Cersei had to pay for what she did. She gave the militants too much power, and Tyrion did the exact same thing, just with the Lord of Lights priests. That makes sense? No.
Makes complete sense to me. If I may, DJ,
Absolutely.
that question was pointless. No, why are you messing it? It's a really good question, for real. It's a really good question. The comparison, I like that comparison. It's kind of like when Tyrion was with Bronn in King's Landing, and he was like, "Oh, the people. I like what the people are saying about Joffrey." I was like, "They're dancing to the tune of a twisted demon," and Bronn's like, "They're talking about you." He's like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, Tyrion's as usual. His heart is in the right place. His intellect can be in the right place, but his wisdom is fucking so far off. So that whole scene that you pointed out in that comparison is a beautiful accomplice to my point that Tyrion is overrated.
Not so much overrated, but I mean that's how Varys even started that scene. Was
overrated, DJ? I believe I said.
He was basically like, you walk like a rich person. He's like, oh, you can't tell. He's like thinking he's undercover. He's like, you walk like a rich person. You act like you own the very stones you walk upon. So it's like he was trying to let him know right then and there. It's like, you think you got this all figured out, but you don't know these people.
Well, that was a couple episodes before that when they were first going to look like what was happening to Marine, because Tyrion tells them that people won't notice. They won't know that they're the people in power because they're dressed like merchants. And Varys is like, really? You walk like you own the stones beneath your feet.
Exactly. So he was letting them know. It's like, you think you got this figured out, but you don't know these people. You got to get inside their mind if you really want to try to run things and get the peace and have it stay, which he never did, and that's what happened.
The only reason that DJ is running for Tyrion is because he believes Tyrion is a Targaryen. So I see how this is going. And what's good, broke black men? Under Cersei's rule, there would be a lot of broke black men. So you are the best oxymoron I've ever seen in my life. What's good, brother?
Oh, what's good? What's good?
So yeah, I'm thinking that Tyrion's gonna die. He's gonna get sacrificed to R'hllor.
You think Tyrion dies this season?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
I like it.
Because it just seems like it. I don't know. That kind of seems like one of those things where they tell you. They actually showed you already in that season. Okay, Cersei fucking gave the Faith militants all this power, and then it ended up biting her in the ass. Tyrion gets the priests of R'hllor and gives them all this power to be basically the distributors of information in this city. And Varys tells him that's going to bite you in the ass. And it kind of shows you that Tyrion and Cersei aren't that different.
I'm sorry, just Andy, hearing your reply and then BBM is like, yeah, of course, Cersei, because Cersei's pushing the money to, like, and the people are pushing the money to Cersei to aid her. You know, it's like bullshit, BBM, yeah. But we'll love. BBM makes some good cases for Cersei, yeah, I'll be honest. Just most of them are shit, but the good ones he makes are there. The good ones he makes are there as well. I think it's I'm just shit talking for the sake of being the pantomime villain. I think there's great points to be made on both sides. I just don't sit on the fence. So I like the outlook of Tyrion being burned. I've never heard that before. I don't think it will happen at all. But as I say, Andy, your guess is as fucking good as mine right now, you know?
Except for the fact that you're saying Tyrion and Cersei are the same, because Cersei's not even close to us on Tyrion's level for any kind of strategy.
That's true.
Well, I mean, they both did the same thing, giving religious people power in your city. That was my point, mostly.
Right. And yeah, it didn't quite blow up in Tyrion's face quite as hard because he had a little bit better plan than Cersei did, but still, yeah, dangerous move. What's good, BBM? What's good, BBM? Welcome to see you. Good, thanks for showing up. What was the best character adaptation from the book to the show? We were talking about this a little bit back behind the scenes, so had a little bit of time to think about it. But Johnny, what's in your opinion, what is the best and closest adaptation? You were like, oh my God, that's exactly who I would have cast for that spot from book to show.
I'll be quick and swift with this one, DJ. Unlike other people's answers, I'm speaking about myself in the past life. Alfie Allen, Theon Greyjoy, as I say, Liam Cunningham, Lena, aka Cersei. There's so many runners you can have, but for me, it'd have to be Alfie Allen. He read the books before the show, and apparently before they cast him as Theon. Ben had told me that they made him read the scripts of Reek just to see how much he can switch it up. And my God, so in my personal opinion, Alfie Allen, Theon.
Great answer. What about you, Snafu? What do you think?
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, and yeah, Theon's a really good one. That's one that I couldn't get out of my head. But you also said another good one, Jaime. He does portray Jaime pretty well, like smarmy, but like you could see that he has a heart as it grows, and that he can be ruthless, and he has some vulnerable. Is really Jaime's another great one for me. I think he does that pretty brilliantly.
Absolutely. And that was my pick when we talked about it, but then the more Johnny was talking about it, it's like, man, Davos did hit it out of the park as well. Sir Davos was absolutely amazing in his part. So all three of those, I think, were you could pick any one of them. They were all three amazing. What do you think, Chad? Who do you think the best adaptation from the books to the show was? Who do you think they absolutely cast perfectly? And then what do you think, flip it around, Johnny? Who was the absolutely worst cast where you're like, oh, hell no, that's not right. That's not anything what it's supposed to be.
I can ruffle some feathers if you want. I can say Pedro Pascal if you want. He didn't have long hair. I could say I'm trolling, but I would have liked an Oberyn Martell to have long hair. You know what I mean? But the actor killed it. I'm trolling. If you want me to really reach out of the bucket and give an obscure answer that I do really believe in, I'll say Ramsay. Because Iwan Rheon originally applied for the Jon Snow role, and I think Kit Harington is a 6 or 7 out of 10 actor at best if everything accommodates the role he's applying for that suits his abilities. And I believe Iwan Rheon is a 9 or a 10 in any role. And when you look at him as Ramsay, he did such a great job at Ramsay that people give him credit, which he should get. But he originally applied to be Jon Snow, and most of Jon Snow's things is his facial reactions. And if you just look at Iwan Rheon, his facial reactions, he would have been an amazing Jon Snow. So for that reason, I'm saying Ramsay.
Nice. What's up? Felicia just hit the chat and she says, Euron eye patch. That's pretty much all you need to say about that. A lot of people were absolutely disgusted with the Euron character.
Yeah. Oh, freaking great value Jack Sparrow there. Frank, that's all I can think of sometimes. I'm like, man, he kind of is like a, I don't know, a budget brand freaking Jack Sparrow trying to be a little bit too serious. But like we said before, there are really a couple of like Euron. There's ones that aren't so egregious, but they're, for me, like I really like Varys's character in the book, and I feel like you get less of that in the show. Like he comes off as more of a good guy in the show than I thought he should have, but you also get that with Tyrion. But I don't know. I don't really typically get too mad at stuff like that, so maybe. Oh, wait, what about Dany? Like maybe this is one that's not bad for people, but I feel like I do not like how Danny's played. Just I don't know. I don't know what it is about her. Maybe like Amelia Clark's too deadpan or something.
Oh, you're killing me.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like Danny. But
You're not alone, but you're still killing me.
I just don't like. I don't hate Danny. I'm not one of the people that hate Danny. I just don't like the acting for Danny.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she does a pretty decent job. I'm not, of course, but I like Danny. But yeah, there you are not alone. A lot of people don't. I see there's definitely a few people on my side as well. They got the one that bugged me the most in the show was absolutely, you are correct, Mother Krakens and Jenny Coldstones. I like Jenny. She said best Cersei, worst Dario Naharis. The Dario in the books is so completely backwards and different from the one. I mean, he's swarmy, but yeah, no, not my Dario. That was the worst casting, and they had 2 shots at it. They got 2 chances at it, and they just missed them both by a mile. It was awful.
I like the first Dario.
Hey, there you go. I mean, hey, sure, he was better than the second one. Like as far as
it's not hard, is it?
No, it's not. That's a pretty low bar, and it was not met. It was terrible. Dario drove me nuts. But also, and then what we were talking about, my runner-up would be Jorah. I mean, Jorah is supposed to be this gnarly, hairy-back grizzly bear that, like, basically grosses Danny out. And the Jorah they brought for the show is like, I mean, he's a good-looking older guy. It's like, oh, that's terrible. That was a terrible casting.
Well, it's still TV.
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's Hollywood. What are you going to do? But yeah,
that rules out all of our fucking answers, Andy. Yeah, well done.
I thought like the first Dario looked like he's Sarah Jessica Parker's brother or something. Like, bro, why the long face? I don't know.
I like the first Dario, yeah, because he looked flamboyant as hell. Do you know what I mean? Like where he would fit over in Essos, you could give him that blue, purple, grey, green. You can give him whatever hair color you want, and it looked like he'd be suited to it. So for that reason, I was like, yeah, I could take you as a Dario.
Which is what's your favorite Dario? Which one did you like better, Andy? First or second one?
Well, I don't really like either of them. The first one you don't get enough of. Like, yeah, you get a bit. Of them. I mean, what I mean is like to really see like throughout the thing, but you know, I don't hate on like those minor characters like that, which I think he's a minor character, so I'm not gonna complain about it. I don't hate as much as you guys.
Well, Dario is one of my favorite characters in the book, so I was really irritated when I saw the adaptation. I was like, what is that?
Maybe it's like some 4D chess, like everybody hates Dario's character and everybody hates Euron's character. So that is like a wink, wink, nod, nod that they're the same person in the book.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's a DJ11 original theory right there, boys and girls.
Andy, I know how to combat DJ11. He's a hard Goliath to beat, but once you beat him, you find your way. There's this book, people, yeah? It's easily made. It's called What Would Stannis Baratheon Do? And once you read this amazing read, you'll never lose an intellectual battle again. Unless you bring up Hollywood and why actors are good looking and shows converted to books, you know what I mean? But other than that, solid.
Oh, shit.
Just saying.
As a rock. So what's going to happen with this meeting at Winterfell? Like, say Jaime, like how long is that going to fight, or is Tyrion just going to be able to smooth talk it over, or is it going to be like a major problem once Jaime steps into the Winterfell gates?
Do what? How crazy is it going to be?
How hard is Jaime going to have to fight? I mean, are they going to want to kill him right away, or is Tyrion just going to be able to smooth things over? Or, I mean, it looks like there's going to be a straight up trial whether they just kill him on the spot. I mean, he pushed Bran out of the window, for God's sakes.
No, I think Bran's gonna have his back. Like Bran would definitely. He doesn't care about that now because he's not even really Bran at this point. So, Bran will probably vouch for him, and Brienne's gonna vouch for him. She's gonna talk about how like, hey, he could have killed me when we were leaving River Run, but didn't. And he knew where we were going. So he's just gonna have some people vouching for him. And then I think you brought up a few weeks ago, like, why would even anybody question it? Isn't Cersei supposed to be sending an army up there anyway?
He's supposed to be going up there, absolutely. But that still doesn't mean that the Starks are going to feel any better about the things that have happened.
Yeah, true. Except Bran, the person he pushed out the window, is there and can say, hey, it's all right.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
And like John's there, and he's gonna be like, well, it doesn't matter if he pushed Bran out the window. Like, we got to deal with these White Walkers coming. I can't like just put one of the best swordsmen in the realm in the dungeon. They don't know how shit he is with his left hand. Maybe Arya will teach him with his left hand.
Oh yeah. What's going to happen with the three-way, Johnny, with Tormund, Jaime, and Brienne?
What? Three-way? That's a weird phrasing.
Well, I just like to question the whole thing. If Bran isn't fully Bran, like, does that make him a bra? So without Hodor, how the fuck is this tick gonna hold up? It's a curious question. In my mind, it sounded amazing. You know what I mean? But obviously, just saying it actually sounded amazing. Forgive me humility. Your question with a three-way. It's not gonna happen, because I have odds on that Tormund's the first big character to die. And the Hound and Brienne, I think they're so similar when it comes to the fighting ways. Like Brienne's probably gonna cock block the Hound. She's a bigger one anyway, so her block game is definitely better. And the two of them are gonna just talk about Arya. And then Arya's gonna be a cold little bitch, not giving a fuck about them because the Night King is here, and you'll never get an answer. We'll soon find out about the honeycomb and the jackass before we find out about that three-way, Mr. DJ.
Excellent. Way to put 1,000 words and say absolutely nothing all at the same time. And he says it doesn't make sense.
Go sub to me. Yeah, hashtag no content streams. That's how I roll.
I got a question. I'm kind of weird in that I'm more looking forward to an Arya and Hound reunion than Arya and Jon. Am I the only one that feels that way? I just am psyched to see what she thinks about the Hound.
So cool. It was so tight when Sansa and Jon, and those two had little to no love for each other basically growing up. I mean, other than they were family and we're going to stick up for family, there wasn't any crazy special connection there. So as emotional as that was when she came to Castle Black, I think it's going to be unbelievably emotional and just crazy when Jon and Arya meet back up.
See, I don't think so. I think that it took a little bit away from that because he already met Sansa. Like, that would have been so much better if it was Arya in that situation. The first reunion is Arya and Jon. I think the fact that they kind of ease you into it by having a reunion with Sansa first makes it less impactful.
I don't know about that. What do you think about that, Johnny? It's gonna be less impactful when Jon Snow meets up with Arya. You think it's gonna be more impactful when she sees the Hound?
I hope so, man. I'm not gonna be a critical dick on this one. I know I've been rocking that all stream so far. I hope so. I always said in my own mind when Arya and Jon reunite, amazing English. When they reunite, you can kill everybody, J.R.R. Martin. You can kill them, you can kill the whole realm. I just want them to hug after the whole Arya ordeal with Needle, in the books, and she was over there and the way she wouldn't throw Needle away. I thought that's one of my favorite Arya moments where it really fucking hit me. So I'm calling me a stupid hopeful, but on that one I'm not going to be critical. I'm stupidly hopeful that when they do that scene, they just whack that Stark music in, and if the Hound is there, even better. But it's Game of Thrones. So he won't give you that extra type of niceness. So we're not getting the Hound added on. You know, we're not getting that. I'm happy with just Jon and Arya hugging. We're not getting anything more.
Yeah, I'm just excited about it. Like I said, I already saw a little bit of a Stark reunion, but I'm more interested in like the reaction. Not necessarily like that it's gonna be a happier reunion, but I just want to know if like she will be super excited that he's alive, or like, you know, because he was clearly concerned with her, and what her and Brienne were talking about it, or him and Brienne, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. That kind of bloodthirsty people relationship meet up again.
But actually showing the softer side.
Yeah. Like exactly. Like those two people are killers, and then they meet together, and you know that whole time they were together, he's teaching her about killing and how ruthless the world is, and then they both became softer by becoming harder people. In a way, or
Speaking
softer
of
towards each other. Sorry.
speaking of becoming harder people, like crispy, burnt hard, what do you think Danny's going to do? What do you think Samwell's going to do when he meets Danny, Johnny?
Well, it is his brother and his father, isn't it? Like, how fast does news travel in Westeros? I guess they would fast track that just so add some more depth to the scene, so he would know. I think Samuel is he'd probably be distraught about it, and then Jon Snow kind of is going to be his strength in that scene, in the sense of you're my brother and such, and then maybe you'll get a scene with Jon Snow and Sam where, you know what I mean, he gives the speech of that was me brother and father, but Sam is kind of more, well, they would have killed me anyway. Just so happens they were killed, and Jon Snow hugs him and he's like, "Let's kill the White Walkers." Like, I can see it being as cliche as that, yeah, but obviously with more context to the lines. But I could see that playing out like that. No, Jon consoling him, and they rock on with "Let's get the Night King."
Wouldn't it be awesome though if Sam just flipped it and he's like, "Oh, just because you're tapping that ass, I'm supposed to forgive her," and just like gets all bitter on him. Oh, that would be the greatest. See, they need to flip some shit like that.
No, like I said before, I think he won't be mad about his dad, but he'll kind of be upset about his brother, because his brother didn't treat him terribly, and he did like his brother.
Oh, he loved his brother, absolutely. I think he's going to be bitter about it, but what can you do? I mean, she's the queen and he bent the knee, so even if he is bitter about it, there ain't shit he can do about it.
She's gonna be like, "You want to catch these hands? Nah, shut your mouth."
Do you think Tobo Moat taught Gendry how to make Valyrian steel, or taught him the tricks of Valyrian steel, Johnny?
Sorry, can you say that again, DJ?
Do you think that Tobo Moat taught Gendry how to mold Valyrian steel, how to reshape Valyrian steel?
When it comes to the show aspect, like we talked about season 8 here, show was, I guess I could see it. They showed that minimal scene when it came to King's Landing, and he showed how he forged the hammer and it had the stag in it. So that'd be some kind of showing that like he can craft his own way, since, because that's going back to season 1, since anything to do with Gendry and in that fashion was mentioned. I still love the idea of Gendry schmelting Widow's whale and Oathkeeper together, which I heard on a video that wasn't from DJ Woodman. No, it totally was from DJ. I love that theory. I don't know. They could do it, and if they do it, I'm not kind of happy with it, because they haven't given Gendry that much time to be a forger, if that makes sense. You know, where it's believable. But I'd love it because it's the only Baratheon I have, and fuck the rest of us.
So check this out. A long time, like forever ago, I got this little notebook where I write out, it's kind of write little outlines of my theories or just the crazy thoughts that pop into my head. And forever ago, I wrote down Ice is 2 swords. And I never really that was all I wrote down. And I could never figure out what the hell I meant by that. I was like, where the hell was I going? Okay, ice was too, it just made no sense to me. And then finally, literally a couple weeks ago, it just clicked back in. I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. And I was going to make a sweet video about it, and I probably still will. But, for the folks that are here just chilling, it's like, what if that's exactly what Ned did, and Ned actually got a hold of Dark Sister, going off like Andy's Noble Guy's Lion theory or whatever. What if Ned actually got a hold of Dark Sister and Blackfire? He knew somebody that knew how to rework Valerian steel. He had it actually melted back into one, and that was ice. He had it both melted back into ice, and that was like that line that Tywin Lannister dropped, it's a ridiculous sword. There's plenty of Valyrian steel there for two swords. That was kind of his little hint that actually it was two swords. So when you break it down, we're actually going to find out in the end that Oathkeeper and Widow's Wail is actually Dark Sister and Blackfire. Boom! What? That would be sick. Oh, yeah, we go deep down the rabbit hole up in this motherfucker.
All right, and we're getting a boom from that, but it's totally illogical. All right. I mean, I'll humor you because, I think that would be cool, and I'm a rational dude, so I say that would be a cool idea because it is the second ice. So, ice is two swords, not only in that aspect, but it's two different swords in history. You know what I mean? So that would be another cool little play on words, where it's ice has been the name of two different swords, and then it's
right,
actually two different swords put together.
Yeah, it's the combination. But yeah, I thought that was so funny. It's I wrote that down 4 years ago, probably just forever ago. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's where I was going with that. I thought that was pretty great. But yeah, that would be pretty sick because we never hear about where they are. It's that'd be a great explanation. Actually, Ned took the two swords, had them bonded together, and that's why ice was such a big, ridiculously large sword. And then Tywin breaking it down was actually reforging the two swords on how they actually were in the first place. I love it.
But yeah, DJ and Andy, I'm gonna have to set the alarms, and I'm gonna have to hit the road because the sunshine is coming up. But I wish I want to stay longer, and I love doing these debates, these back and forth. Y'all's theories are fucking awesome. There's leeway on both sides. That's my favorite thing about these. You know what I mean? Whereas even if I completely disagree with DJ about something, it's he has some leeway where you're actually there's a possibility of that. So you can never fully cancel out, and I love that, and it's a completely unique angle. And Andy's debating skills, they're second to none. I absolutely love it. And it was absolutely awesome to talk to you. Maybe catch up through season 8, my friend.
Oh, many, many times. Thank God. It was so good to see you back, man. Way too long, and we're going to remedy that and make sure it's not so long next time around. As soon as this drops, we're going to have to get back together and make it happen.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you, brother. I missed you, big man. And Andy, when you get your knee back, I'll call you a big man too.
Yeah. Right now. Right now, sorry. I'm turning into a big man.
Zenobi, yeah, sorry. Zenobi, when you get your knee back, I'll call you a big man. Forgive me. No, but one love, thank you for the debates, lads. It's awesome fucking food for thought. Salute to y'all in the chat for stopping in. And if you don't know DJ, drop him a sub. If you don't, you're fucking racist. Because DJ is awesome. Awesome dude. Same with Andy. Andy's fucking awesome to have debates back and forth with. And one love to y'all in the chat. Be easy, be safe, be humble, and don't blow your knee in. Take it easy.
Yeah, don't be like me.
Easy, brother. We'll talk soon.
And if Jamie beats Arthur.
Oh, last words of greatness. That's so sweet. Yeah, I definitely got some work to do and try to drop some of these little quick banger theories real quick, just in case, because that would be epic if something like that came to fruition.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. That's a good catch. If we always talk about those double meaning things, and the fact that it is a ridiculous sword.
way too big. You know, can't really use it for anything except for beheading ceremonies. It's like,
Yeah, what's the point in that?
it doesn't make any sense at all. What's Euron's major plan? Does he just want to sit the Iron Throne, or is he got something bigger in mind?
I mean, I think he wants to sit the Iron Throne. That seems like his. What's bigger than that? In our story, I guess.
I mean, if there's some secrets to a shy or something, I mean, something that we haven't even been told about, you know, Emperor of the World. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy.
Could be.
Well, good night, Mary J. Starwalker. Thanks for stopping in. So glad you came out to hang out for a while. Have a good night. But yeah, I don't. It is. It's like, what is greater? It's like, do you believe that he ever really had a dragon egg? And then he said he had one, but he just had one of his fits and threw it overboard. Do you think he ever had one?
Yeah, I think he did have one, and I think he didn't throw it overboard though. I like that theory that he traded it to the Faceless Men.
And is that what? And that's how he killed his brother, or did he kill his brother himself?
No, that's how he killed his brother. I think so. Because, right, what was his story that when they were like, oh, yeah, you just happened to show up like the day after your brother was killed. And he's like, well, I was out wherever.
Right.
I have evidence of that. Or I forget who. Oh, no, it was only his crewmates that backed him up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just had his 3 people. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I think he wouldn't really need to pay the Faceless Man for that, would he?
I mean, if he's going to kill a king, yeah, that'd be super expensive. It would be something like a dragon egg for something like that.
And then maybe that's why Jaqen wants to go and why he's at the Citadel.
I think he might be.
I kind of like.
What's that?
I kind of like those theories. Like he wants to figure out about like if they were going to hatch this dragon, how they would do it. Because if only death plays for life, that's going to be one powerful ass dragon in that House of Black and White. You know,
right? That'd be the big dog. They got all kinds of life being paid for. What did Sir Arthur Dane mean when he said, "And now it begins"?
I didn't read much more into that. What do you think? Other than they're about to fight.
The entire prophecy of what's going on, if he believed his best friend Rhaegar about the prophecies that were coming, like maybe not even Azor Ahai, but other ones. It's like, do you think Rhaegar read anything about I mean, obviously with all those old books, he had to have read about White Walkers and the Whites. And like we were saying, we think it's, you know, a cycle that happens every couple thousand of years. So the 1,000 years was probably up. Rhaegar must have known that the cycle was coming and this was happening. So do you think he had already read up on how to beat the White Walkers?
Yeah, I don't know if he knew how to for sure, but that would make sense because he was a reader. And I mean, if anybody was going to find shit in the books like that, then he would. But the question, it makes sense that like the North would have a bunch of books about, or like Winterfell would have a bunch of books about White Walkers and stuff. That would make sense. But I don't know. Do you think King's Landing would have that same stuff?
I mean, there had to be more than one book made, right?
Yeah, for a lot of them. But doesn't Tyrion say there's like a lot of books in here that you can't find anywhere else?
Oh, up at Winterfell?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then all those books burned. So I think maybe that's why I think maybe Dolores Ed is one of the first people to die, because I don't think they were at the Winterfell crypts when they were going down those stairs. I think they were going down the stairs at either Castle Black to the library to get a book on how to beat the White Walkers, or they're at the Night Fort trying to go to one of their old libraries to get an old book to see how to beat the White Walkers, because the book at Winterfell burned up in the fire when the Catchpaw came to try to kill Bran.
Yeah. And that's what I always think about too. Like, think about all. There has to be a reason for that more than just like a distraction. There has to be a reason that it's mentioned at the library. That Tyrion says how many rare books are in the library, and then that just happens to get burned down. So I always think that there's something to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe, I mean, that's just a big switch. You know, they're getting everybody to look left when you really should be looking right. They got everybody looking at this Catchpaw like he lit this thing on fire to get everybody away from Bran so he could go kill him. But maybe he really lit the thing on fire so he could basically burn those old books so nobody will have the knowledge of whatever's to come.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, like, that makes sense, right? The North, the people closest to the wall would have books that have to deal with that. But I don't know about if Rhaegar would. Like, if down in King's Landing.
Yeah, but he's of the royal blood. I mean, those guys had everything. I mean, it went to royalty before it went to Winterfell. Like, I think they would get those books first.
Well, not if they're written by Northern people. I don't think so. I think that history that predates the Seven Kingdoms would stay in that kingdom in the North. You know what I mean?
Perhaps, but I would say that if it was written by maesters, and the maesters were very communicative. So I think whatever the maester knew, like that was ever at the Night's Watch, he let the Citadel know what was going on. So I think they were well informed of those. Like if there's those old books, I think there's people at the Citadel that definitely knew about it. And I think there was more than one copy. But
so I don't think necessarily there was, like, thousands of year old books. How old did we say that book that was falling apart was? Like 2,000 years old or something?
Right.
So you think a 2,000-year-old book's getting a copy made of it?
Yeah. I mean, depending on who wrote it, yeah. Or, I mean, he could have, sent Cliff Notes to the Citadel and they wrote their own version of that book.
Their highly redacted version. Takes all the magic out of it.
It could be. Or it could have gotten sent, he could have rewrote it, He could have wrote that one, wrote another copy, and sent that at the other one. Because I would think that would be, like, basically part of the deal. Anything you write in any book that you have, you make a copy and you send back to us. I mean, I think that would just be part of the deal.
Yeah, but I think some of those books aren't like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. But when does the Citadel? When does it first start? Like, how old is the Citadel?
Oh wow! I don't know. I think they just say thousands of years old too. I don't know. I mean, way back before the Targaryens ever came to Westeros.
So maybe they would. I don't know. I just don't think. I think that most of that information, like, you're gonna have regional bits of information, and I think a lot to do with the White Walkers would be regionalized. Like, they have a much greater interest in that, or having information on that, than the rest of the kingdoms would. So you would have additional information there.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that, like, that down in King's Landing they wouldn't have anything. I feel like they might have the most important part. So back around to the original question, I imagine Rhaegar would have a lot of information about it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think most books basically that went anywhere, I think there was definitely a copy that went to the royal family regardless. I think they got a copy of everything because they wanted to know everything. But who knows? I mean, not every book ever, but something important like that, I would think.
Yeah, that makes sense. But who's to say it's like, who considers it most important? Or, like, if you think you've defeated them, maybe the details aren't as important. Maybe sounding poetic is more important. But pragmatism is more important in the North, where that shit actually happens at. So it's more detailed than in the North.
Could be. Could be. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Sam will break all that out. How do you think this? What's the end game? Do you think? I mean, is this all just happening in the eye of Blue-Eyed Giant? Is this going to end with Samuel Tarley writing down, a bunch of stuff and finishing writing his book? Is it going to be like an old Nan type character telling stories to like Stark kids? Like, what's the very, very end game of this?
Maybe the Night's King killing Bran. Like I've been thinking about it. Like we didn't see like the Night's King. Well, he didn't attempt to go south of the wall until after Bran, right? Like maybe he's just wanted to kill the Blood Raven all along, stop that cycle, and then yeah, he finally got his chance to. And then Blood Raven just downloaded his shit into Bran, and now the Night's King's like, fuck, now I gotta go down south. I didn't want to do all this. I just wanted to terrorize the wildlings like up north of my friends.
Oh, I just want to be wilding. This is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's way different in the books than in the show. I think that's how it's gonna be, but that's just wishful thinking, maybe.
Speaking of wishful thinking, is there any way whatsoever that there's like a fake Aegon out there? Or is that just a story Varys made up?
Like Fagon?
Yeah.
Oh, like that he exists at all?
No, that like they're trying to put him on the throne. Like he's gonna come back with the Golden Company.
Yeah.
With the Varys story saying that's Rhaegar's kid that I saved.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to do that. I don't think that that's actually Aegon, but I think they're going to try to do that.
You think they are?
I think maybe the show gives that away a little bit by naming Jon Aegon. Like, it almost feels like they got information about Aegon, or a little bit more information, and they're like blended the characters together, and so they
what if Jon really is Aegon? What if that's the baby swap? If they go out there and they go out to Tower of Joy and promise me Ned, and Ned grabs the baby, and he's coming back to Winterfell basically to get some supplies to go back up to White Harbor and get back to Winterfell, and Varys comes out and he's like, listen, I know you're an honorable man and they were going to kill him. Now that I know you're honorable and you're bouncing out of here, this is Rhaegar's son. You need to take him and hide him. You give me that baby, you take this baby, and that's basically the true king of the kingdom. Take him north with you and keep him safe.
I mean, that would be interesting. But I don't think that Ned would do that. With his sister's baby?
For the realm?
I mean, he's stupid, but he's not give a brand new baby to the guy they call freaking a spider.
Okay. So what if he didn't do that? What if he gave Lyanna's baby to Starfell, and that's basically who Edric Dane is. That's actually Lyanna's kid, and that's how they honored him or let him know that he's truly a Stark, is they gave him Ned's name. Ned came back, and basically Varys gave him Jon, who really is Aegon, and that's why they gave him the same name, because it really is the same person.
See, that's a good setup for it. That's better than what I had pictured in my head, or what you said the first time. Oh. That's more believable, I think. But it's possible. I don't think it's the case, but it's certainly possible. If we're going based off of why they named him Aegon in the show, that's certainly reasonable. I just thought it was like them blending the characters together, like they did with what's his name? The Baratheon dude, whatever his name is.
Oh, Gendry. Yeah, Gendry and Edric Storm or whatever.
Yeah. So, Yeah, that's my opinion. I just thought they were just blending the characters together. But yours kind of makes more sense than mine, really.
I think that would just be the sickest tie-in to bring it all back. That would be dope. Varys was telling the truth the whole time. Like, what? That'd be nuts. And then that's why Varys actually gave Blackfire to Ned, and that's how Blackfire got up into the Winterfell crypts. Is like, and this is how they'll know that that truly is, because it's obviously a secret because they got to keep him alive and away from Robert Baratheon. So Varys gives them Jon Snow and Blackfire, and they're like, keep both of them safe, and when it's time, give him the sword, and that's how they'll know he truly is the king because he'll have the king's sword. That'd be sick.
That would be nuts. Jenny just brought up the Mira and John twins. That DJ's the first person I ever heard that from. And now I just use that to like try to get him to acknowledge that Longclaw is Blackfire. So that he could have like Mira with Dark Sister and John with Longclaw, and it's just history repeating itself. But he didn't bite, so I reject Mira and John being twins out of principle.
Oh, Moni says while rereading Dance, she totally thought that Aegon was the one true king. So, Aegon or Fagon, though? John Aegon or Fagon? Oh, but Mira, is Mira going to come back? Are we going to get a Mira sighting in season 8?
Yeah, I think she's probably going to come back up, maybe with Howland Reed. That would be dope.
So you think all the Reeds are coming back, huh?
I feel like they would have to, right? They're just going to chill down there, and they can't do that.
You got to wait at the neck. They got their own problems if they get past Winterfell. They have to save Moat Cailin.
Yeah, well, they got to save humanity.
Like, you can't just go there and hide with the frog people. You got to get your ass out here and fight. Fight on the side of the living.
Yeah, can't you see we're trying to do something here? Your frogs could help. Don't you guys, like, live through cold and shit? You hibernate, freeze yourself? No, I'm kind of fighting with myself over that, too. Like, I would expect her to go get Howland Reed and for him to come back. But like I said the other day, and if they haven't talked about stuff much, I don't expect them to go into it further in the 6th season. But then again, they did already bring up Howland Reed a few times. Obviously, his kids, and then him stabbing Arthur Dayne in the back. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched for them, or too much of a stretch for them to come in and spend a little time for him to explain shit.
Yeah. Speaking of explaining shit, do you think the Night's Watch is going to fall? And if they do, does Sam go back and become the Master Lord of Horn Hill, or does he become a Maester, go back to the Citadel, and forge more links?
I think he should go back to the Citadel, but I don't know what he'll do. Let's just go with he's going to continue trying to be a Maester. Maybe he's going to try to reform the Maesters, like you can have a wife or something. He's gonna
so he can keep his gilly.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back there and break it down. He was already looking at the totally like going word for word on the Night's Watch vows. Like, hey, they don't say you can't be with a woman. They say you just can't marry and have kids. So yeah, he's already ready to break down those codes. So yeah, he might go in there and fight for like, hey, I think it's okay to have a wife of being a Maester. But obviously, I mean, how could that work out? I guess she just comes with you, travels with you, or whatever.
Yeah,
well,
true.
She-Wolf is taking off. Good night, She-Wolf. Thanks for stopping in. So glad to see you. Hope to see you again throughout the season. We'll definitely be doing it every single Tuesday night and a couple impromptus like this one here and there. I know it's getting late for you, too. We got to let Andy get out and get to bed, too. I actually got a bunch of stuff going on tomorrow. Just ran into Johnny tonight, and man wanted to go on. I was like, hey, you want to go on? Let's do it. It's been forever. Let's make this happen. Shout out to Johnny Giant Spain, Johnny Green Hands, Johnny, what's the newest one?
Johnny Fruity Boots? No, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't. I think Green Hands.
I mean, the one that was on tonight was almost like a email or whatever.
Yeah, don't give that out.
No, never. Irish John, maybe Irish John, that was it, or maybe Johnny Greenhands. I think it's Johnny Greenhands. I think that's what he was under. Hard to keep up. My man has had more names than freaking titles of the Lords of Westeros. It's just unbelievable. Just keeps it rocking on each and every channel. That was awesome. Back into him.
He has put on more faces than the faceless, man.
I tell you, that is real. Holding it down each and every time. But yeah, that was awesome running back into him. But yeah, man, I know it's late for you, so definitely let you get out of here. And I know we'll be catching up soon. And if not, for sure, Tuesday night to talk about what we thought about that first and crazy opening session of Game of Thrones final season. So that's going to be awesome. So yeah, want to thank everybody that stopped by tonight. And as you know, like I just said, we'll definitely be back next Tuesday. So I know everybody's pumped up. Get ready, have a blast, and enjoy the first episode of Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Everybody have an absolutely amazing weekend. And until we see you next time, game on.